What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Dynasty Trade Show, brought to you by our good friends at Ultimate Autographs. If you want some of this dope memorabilia that I got behind me, signed sh.it, go check them out today. But Adam, you know how we do, man. We like to get right into it. We brought the trade show back last week. We're back again this week. That's 2 in a row. If we do 3 in a row, that's what they call a winning streak. It has happened before.
It's he's on fire. You know, we're getting ready to be on fire, man. So let's see. Mike, I think you just made a deal too. We're going to start off with one of mine again.
Welcome to South Harmon.
You're in this league. You've seen it. I don't know if you took a look at it and what your thoughts were, but
I didn't.
Yep.
I mean, I saw there was a trade, but
Didn't really dive in. You're just like, hey, I'll save it for the show. Even better. All right. So
you know what I'm saying?
the Rusty Tromboners, Mike, is a league that just will never, you'll never be able to replace this level of a league, you know, the Rusty Tromboners. It's a 12-team Superflex PPR, best ball start at 13. It's one of the earlier, OG leagues, so to speak, around for shit. Like, in this league, it's start 13, right? So that is definitely something to keep in mind, and we'll get into the warp over here, but just on the surface, starting 13, best ball, definitely a longer, much longer roster and starting roster spots. I am trading away Jonathan Taylor. I'm trading away Mike Evans. I'm trading away Christian Watson, Braylon Allen, Keon Coleman, and a third. That's a mouthful. There's 5 of them and the third in there. I'm getting back Justin Fields, Puka Nacua, and the 203 for the record. The 203 turns into Matthew Golden whilst on the clock, we make this deal. Mike, I see the puzzled look. Speak it to me. Speak it into existence. Well, he's muted. He's so upset.
I'm 1-for-1 competing for you, with you in this league.
Yeah, we're toward the top here, you and I.
This is some bullshit, man. Like, why do you keep getting gifts?
You don't like it for the old B country, huh?
No, there's no advice given on this one. Just what? Okay, all right. Let's break this down.
Let's try to break it down. Yeah,
like I'm not fucking mad and angry. Okay, Puka or Jonathan Taylor? Easily, Puka.
Sure.
Easily.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mike Evans on top.
Well, I was just gonna say, what would equal out? Let's just say, obviously, we need to add to Puka, but just for the sake, what would equal Fields on the top part?
Mike Evans
and Fields, and Mike Evans and Mike Evans and a Keon. I would agree. There you go.
Mike Evans and a Keon. Yeah.
So now you got a third Watson and Braylon for 203.
203 by country.
Yeah, because Matthew Golden is the pick for the record too. So Matthew Golden over those 3.
I wouldn't do. Oh my God! You see my problem with it.
I can understand it. So let me ask you then: if you're B country and I own your pick, right, and you're dead set on needing a running back, does this warp line change anything for you?
Nope.
How about single year, just to see if we can give him any type of change up? Because that was basically what he was insisting on. This is obviously the warp of a year ago. I would say that if you look at this, though, that's not different than most leagues where the running backs were more dominant last year. To me, if you look at my roster, I probably would have push come to shove. The 203 didn't have to come into the deal for me to take this on, honestly.
She just was like, fuck,
I mean,
keep looking.
Well, because here's the I'll give you the truth of the matter. I was trying to get a trade done with B Country before the draft. He's on the clock at the 203, and he's finally hits me up. Mike, I've had his trade sitting in there for 15, 20 days, which is fine. That's cool. Normally I'll withdraw him at a certain point, but I like the deal. It was all of a sudden now he wanted to move the 203. So I'm like, oh, if you really want to get off the 203, let's test that water out. And he did, in my opinion, want to get off the 203. Like, I think this is one of those deals, too, in a best ball start 13, when you don't have enough assets. I think it's sometimes easy to add in a bunch of pieces, and people will actually kind of be like, oh, damn, there's a lot going on here, right? There's Braylon Allen, there's Keon Coleman, there's Christian Watson. I'm not here to argue for why the other person took the deal. You see what side I took. But I think I've seen a lot of deals like this in best ball with long starting rosters where the I want kind of, I guess, pollution of the deal, right? There's a lot of assets going into it, and you're basically able to get an up tier that I think actually makes sense.
It is a misevaluation of where this team is, right?
Let's go to the lab. Let's do that too. It's a good call.
Yeah, the team's not very good. It's very, very middle of the road, if there ever was middle of the road. That's the problem.
Okay, so let's take a peek, right? This is my team. You want to talk B Country's team first, right? So let's look at B Country's team. All right, so B Country now, he had Joe Burrow, as you can see on here. Shout out the lab. This is DTHE-LAB.SouthHarmonFF.com. Free tool we offer here right now. A super dope tool in my opinion, but you can go take a look at all basically open sleeper APIs. Burrow, Jonathan Taylor. Now, Trey Benson is his running back too, which for the record, Mike, he wasn't wrong saying he needed a running back. I'll give you that. Give the kid that. Jordan Addison, Mike Evans, Keon Coleman, which he acquired both of those guys in the trade. He did lose Puka over to me. TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku now, Braylon Allen, Jaden Blue, Jalen Wright, Christian Watson, Drake May, Russell Wilson. You get to the bench, you got guys like Kendre. But, man, it gets kind of thin quick, right? Now, in best ball, you want to have a lot of these type of bodies. I mean, we dunk on Michael Wilson all the time, but I'll definitely roster and take him in best ball. But, yeah, to your point, I think there's a lot of – this team needs a lot more, I think, than the trade it just made, personally, as far as bodies go.
And it just gave up one of its most appealing assets.
In Puka? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean
– This is my problem with it. You pull it up, right? As soon as you got to RB2 – the most, and it's sorted by keep trade cut like ranking, right? Like
correct
keep trade cut value. The lab is putting Trey Benson in your RB2 slot.
Great.
Okay, red flag. Let's go. Let's look at maybe the wide receivers are really deep. Keon Coleman, the guy you just traded for, that people are kind of, we don't really give. That's in your wide receiver 3 spot right now.
Mm-hmm.
You good at quarterback, like you're serviceable at quarterback, right? Joe Burrow, Drake May, Russ, like, okay, that's fine. You good there? You kind of suck at everything else. There's no depth. You got starters in the best ball league right now.
Well, and to that point, now I'm not, again, the trade is what it is, but I would think we both acknowledge for this team to get any type of more semblance, it's going to have, it needs a lot more depth than it has at the moment, right?
If you're lucky, you make the playoffs
with this current roster. Yeah, I'm saying, but this team personally, we both would agree it needs depth. It needs a lot more bodies, right? For sure.
Where you get?
No, I agree. I think. Let me ask you this: in a league like this, it's kind of crazy because it seems like if you watch this trade show and you're not playing the best ball league, you're not playing in a big starting lineup like this. Obviously, you're like, what the hell just happened with that trade? Even in best ball, you might be thinking the same thing, like you said, Mike. But don't you think in best ball, a lot of times it's a lot, how do I put this? Sometimes it's harder to actually split assets across legit players in best ball than it is in lineup, because of the fact that, like, what would you, let me just ask this. Let's put the trade back up. What would you be looking in return for trying to split out your field, split out your Puka and your 203 here? Like, what would have made this more reasonable with the 6 asset deal, in your opinion?
Dude, I could go right off of your team, like what you have, right?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Here, and let's go to this. Let's pull up my team now. We'll do that in front of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are you interested in Puka? Yeah. I know Adam's definitely interested in Puka.
You know my affinity for Puka Nacua.
All right. Well, listen, it's got to center around. I need running back help for sure. Like if I'm going to start doing this, running back WoRP was good. I don't want to go pay for Saquon Barkley or Bijan on your team right now, Adam. What about JT? All right.
There you go.
So that's how the conversation starts.
That's exactly how the conversation started with us. Exactly.
Obviously, I'm going to need more than just Jonathan Taylor for Puka. Like I'm not stupid. Listen, what do you think about? Would you tie in like a DJ Moore, Adam? Can I get DJ Moore and JT for Puka? You willing to up tier?
I think that would be a conversation where, like, with start 13, I think it's the correct ask. I'm not sure if I would do that right now, but maybe if we made the deal bigger, I could get to that point. Yeah, I think we could probably work around that.
Adam, I noticed you need quarterback help. I got Justin Fields, who I'm willing to move off of. I don't want to move off of Drake May. I don't want to move off of Joe Burrow.
Perfect.
And you probably don't value Russ very highly, right? Like,
no.
Right. So
you go ahead and keep him.
If I put Justin Fields in, Does that get me DJ Moore? I'm still gonna need a little bit more though, because I feel like I'm giving a little bit too much. I'd like to get some best ball pieces.
We're talking now. Now we're talking.
Yeah, let's look at your bench here. Like, is some guys that I can just throw on here.
Let's see what you got. What are you trying to throw at it?
Can I get let me get a couple combinations of something like Marvin Mims and Pop Douglas.
I would have signed off on that deal.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would have signed off on that deal. Pop Douglas, Marvin Mims.
And I don't remember what you had in 25 draft capital at the time either. Like, you know,
I would have. And that's a good question.
Get a second or something out of you.
I did have a 112 and a 412. That's all I had. Now I ended up getting this 203 in this deal, but all I had was 112 and 412. So
right.
112 I believe became a Buka if I remember right. Yeah,
but that's how that conversation goes.
Would go.
Like,
yeah,
my 203, that piece ain't coming in the deal, right? Like, we ain't doing this. I'm not shooting high on. Obviously, you don't really. Christian Watson's a name. Like, at this point,
sure.
We don't know when he's gonna play again. How far into the season?
Right.
A lot of the shit that he got back was just, like, just not that much sex appeal to it, right?
I think that's the. I personally, Mike, I like my side of the deal. I'll admit, I think in this type of a league format where we're starting 13 in best ball, it's a lot harder on the surface to get from the 2 or the 3 to 6. I think the idea was correct here. I still think there's a chance it could work out, but I think that you probably. And I would agree that you could ask for more, or you should be trying to right now. This isn't a deal you have to get done right now either, right? That's the other thing about it, in my opinion. So you do want to get more depth, but you don't necessarily have to do it right now. But hey, listen, I'm not here to apologize. You guys let me know down in the comments, you know? Mike, Rusty Tromboners, buddy. That was one of my few leagues I won last year, trying to repeat, man. I got to compete with the likes of you. I know you're coming with something. Sure. Speaking of repeating, Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful's always seeming to get on the trade show, man. Let's see what he did here. Oh, goodness. We got a 26 first from Jerry Pass. We got a 27 first from Zach Hughes. Creased in a 27 third. Believe it or not, now with 28 picks are out, so these are no longer the furthest out picks. Zach Hughes is getting Tyler Higbee, RJ Harvey, Jaden Higgins, and Xavier Legette. Now, switching gears here, this is a lineup league, start 11. The format is 12-team PPR, 1.25 tight end premium, and it's a 0.25 points per carry. So when I'm seeing that points per carry looks pretty greasy and nice. But we'll get into the WoRP here. What are your initial thoughts on this deal, Mike?
I mean, Jaden Higgins, you know, I like him. RJ Harvey's climbing up boards here.
For sure.
If you felt good about betting against this guy's future, right? Like, I'm pretty easily going to take the 2 first and the 3rd. Right, like I like Xavier Legette. There's nobody in this deal other than Tyler Higbee that sucks. Right,
right.
You're just like, nah, I don't care about. Right, Higbee, who gives a shit? I don't. I personally don't. I don't care what the tight end premium is. That's just a body I'd throw on a best ball. You know, any tight end on a 53 at that point. Right, like, just give me a guy. But Higgins, Legette, Harvey. Obviously, Harvey's got the most value. Higgins probably has the second most.
Definitely.
And then, you know, Xavier Legette, people kind of like him, don't really like him, disappointed. I don't know. He's still a young wide receiver that did something last year and was a first-round pick. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just on the surface, though, man, the liquidity of those 2 firsts, and then just getting that 3rd thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that side. And if this is any type of like bet against this dude,
yeah,
give me Mr. Wonderful. Killed this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, Mike, pull this up in a second here. But what I wanted to do is actually just real quick, I'm going to switch gears to, I guess, this right here, right? The lab. I'm going to go ahead and type in his name. But, Mike, I think what I want to do is kind of know where these picks are at. So, for me, that's going to be where I'm starting, like looking to see. I don't know if you have it up or not already, but that's I think, the first thing for me. When I want to have an idea of what these teams look like. Because, Mike, if these are contending teams, even still, I think it's probably a fine bet. I might be a little bit less.
Jerry Path has a pretty good squad.
Okay.
Pretty good squad. Pretty solid squad. Now we'll check out Zach Hughes. It's up there too. Like, both of these are projecting probably playoffs. I don't see a whole lot of flaws with either one of them.
Yeah. Okay, so I got it up here. Let's pull it up. We're taking a look here at whoopsies. Mike, so when you look at this, when you're telling me both of these are playoff teams, like that kind of nukes a little bit of the appeal, but I still think one of the things that you keep in mind is variance in a lineup league. So do you have less appeal in taking those picks on when you're looking at these type of teams? Like Jerry Pass's team looks pretty damn good, dude, honestly. Like you're looking at this, Jaden. Obviously, when you got J-Day at the top, I already feel like this team starting off fucking juicy. Way. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle. The other thing is you got Burrow. I think you have a lot of get out of jail free cards. The one thing is there's not a lot of depth here. You don't have your 26 first now. So an injury, knock on wood, but an injury to a Burrow, an injury to a Jaden Daniels, right? Like I think the reward would be that while these teams on the surface should be making the playoffs, like if they don't, buddy, or something bad happens, that's where your upside lies. Whereas, what do we think realistically the upside is for a guy like Harvey and Higgins if they do, pop off here?
If Harvey were to pop off, I think he could be a running back one on the year.
100%.
As soon as his rookie year, right?
And what are we thinking startup wise? Like, I think if he has a very good rookie season, Mike, we could be looking at a 3rd, 4th round startup.
Yeah. I was thinking he might be able to sneak in the back end of a second in a startup. There you go. Right? If we have another year like last year where the running backs kind of carried everybody and you saw that bump, and RJ Harvey as a rookie comes in Denver, let's say he finishes like RB8, a Bucky Irving type season, but for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be like a back end second startup pick pretty consistently.
Yeah,
I'm not going to project him to like be top 5 because there's a lot of good fucking running backs who he's got to become. But rookie year, if you got top 8 out of RJ Harvey, you'd be fucking swimming, doing backstrokes. And I think he could be a late 2nd round pick. Higgins, as much as I love him, like I mean, he's going to have to fucking go ham. Like, I mean,
he's going to have to show, I think, flashes. Like, he's going to have to show the 100-yard games, big time catches that, like, the appeal factor has to go through the roof because Nico's still there, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be, the name fits, right? But he's got to be T. Higgins.
Exactly. He's got to be T. Higgins. He's got to have a little bit almost, like, not necessarily George Pickens, but that same type of thing where, like, a couple highlight catches, a couple crazy things where you're like, damn, Jaden Higgins is him. He's going to turn into this next dude.
I think if the Houston offense is cooking and Jaden Higgins is, 1,100, 1,200 yards and let's say 7, 8 touchdowns, something like that, and having some highlight plays, and him and Nico are a perfect pairing, like the target consolidations just between those two guys.
And that would be the 1% range of outcomes. I'd agree.
I think he would be close to, let's say, like very good wide receiver 2 territory, back end wide receiver 1 territory in people's dynasty ranks. Like it's not going to be an immediate jump up to the top because it's not like Brian Thomas with 1st round draft capital, like he's the only dude, the only show in town, like that rise, but a pretty good one, a pretty good rise up the ranks.
I'm with you because now, and here's the other thing to consider, right? If these are non-playoff firsts, because it's easy to talk about the upside and kind of bake that in and think about it. And I think forecasting that out, you're talking about, a second, an late 2nd, early 3rd, maybe if, late 3rd, early 4th, depending on the level of RJ Harvey's pop, right? Higgins, again, probably a 4th round startup pick, something in that neighborhood, if they hit their high end range of outcomes. Mike, if these are early or just call it non-playoff first, those same outcomes kind of exist for the pick here, right? I think on the surface, that's where I think people kind of don't necessarily assume the same thing. If you're talking a top 6 pick in 26, Mike, top 6 picks are going to come off the board in the first 4 rounds. Top 6 picks in the first 4 or 5 rounds. So just being mindful of the bets on both sides have their risk and reward, but you're getting liquidity, right? One thing that can't happen to the picks up top, if you wanted to make a tiebreaker, RJ Harvey, knock on wood, Higgins, knock on wood, can go down. Players in the 26 class can go down like wildfire. That's 27, same thing. But the pick itself can't get hurt. So one thing to consider on that.
I would say neither one of these teams, especially that Zach Hughes, the 27 first, right? When you look it out, pretty devoid of picks for the next couple of years, already kind of in that midline range. He does have some good assets in C.J. Stroud and Bijan Robinson, but you also have a Josh Jacobs. You got an Amon-Ra. For whatever reason, Amon-Ra just produces, but like you see him like slowly going down startup boards. It's kind of weird. So like,
I'm telling you, man, the age fatigue of people is just insane. You know,
It's fucking
he's not
nuts,
even that old.
But outside of that, like, there's not a lot of, like, holy shit, if this is, how do I get out of this in 2 years if this shit starts to fall off the rails? So
This bet, especially to your point, is Michael. There's a lot of young guys that aren't guaranteed to fire here. Matthew Golden, Jaden Higgins, right? Like
you want to talk massive amounts of upside, right? Like we talk RJ Harvey having a good year would be RB8 or whatever. And Jaden Higgins, I know it's going to seem crazy, but if he did have 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns, like he's going to be a back end wide receiver 1, early wide receiver 2.
wide receiver 2 for sure. Right.
Those are the maximum upside scenarios for those guys. So let me just be fucking clear about that. The maximum upside scenario for Mr. Wonderful in that draft pick is in 2 years, Zach can't get out of this shit. His team has fallen the fuck apart. And that is a 27 first with Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams in the
even if it doesn't come into that pick, right? Even if it doesn't make 101 or 1, if it's in the discussion in the range, you can sell for that. You can sell for that appeal, right? That's the
definitely.
Mike, and let me just show you the bench real quick. No third quarterback unless you believe Will Howard's actually going to start. Right? We're looking at legitimately on the bench. You got assets of Leggett, Horton.
Leggett is the best asset he has on his bench. He just got him in a trade. So, yeah.
Right. So, there's reasons, I think, to be excited, Mike, and you don't have a single, wow. This is the gem. This is the gem right here. All right? Yeah. Now, you could thread the needle. Because
that was who he's betting against. He wasn't betting against the other guy.
Right. And let's be clear. This could end up working out. Like, I think it's slim margins, but this could end up working out, right? Bryce Young continues to play like he did in the second half. CJ Stroud, almost the bet inherently, you talk about correlation, right? If Jaden Higgins pops to that degree, Mike, CJ Stroud is probably going to be back to producing. But you have no room for ear. There is no room for ear. Consequences. Secret Service. Let's get into the next trade. I'm going to take Mr. Wonderful side. I normally do. I hate to admit it, but it's just the truth.
Yes, sir.
Broach, Mike is getting here's a Broach. I like calling him Broach. B-Raj.
It's so mean to B-Raj.
Sorry, B-Raj. I'm just kidding with you. But he's getting Brock Bowers, Mike. Come on. You got Brock Bowers and 2 first as well as a 110 in this class for Chase and B-Rob. Mike, you and I talk a lot about how we don't really necessarily want Brock Bowers because of the cost.
Yeah.
3 first and Brock Bowers, though, in a trade already is appealing just from the standpoint of value. But obviously on the other end, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-286 is getting Jamar Chase and Bijan. Lineup start 10, Mike. This might be a WoRP discussion as well, which I'll get ready to pull that up. But
I think it should be.
Half tight and premium.
You want to talk Dynasty value discussion right off the rip. People get mad when you do this sometimes too. Like, I see the comments. I see you. I'm still going to fucking do it.
Wait, you see the comments?
I like to cancel shit out. And on a Dynasty value aspect, Brock Bowers and Jamar Chase. Like, you can't get too much fucking closer to that for most people.
They're close. I would agree it's probably like Chase, but it's close, man. It's close.
I am taking Chase 1,000 times out of 1,000 over Brock Bowers.
Sure.
Even in what the fuck Eric say? A 6-point tight end premium in the state of Nevada.
I love that.
I'm still taking the wide receiver. I'm still taking Chase. Chase is God. Chase is him.
He's him, yeah.
So if I cancel those guys out, I prefer Chase, but I understand that not everybody, it's going to be close for a lot of people, and some people will take Bowers over Chase. If that's the case, though, are you comfortable in a lineup start 10 paying 3 firsts for RB1? One of them is late in this class, which we get into a big tier at the 110 of just...
Well, one of the things about the 110, though, Mike, we just talked about RJ Hart. Like, it's not Bijan, but I could probably get a RJ Harvey or a Caleb at the 110.
Yes, you could.
So we're talking a tier down to a top 20 running back and 2 first in liquidity next year. That's what makes this one kind of tough.
And let's not forget, for most normal people that don't play in leagues with me, a lot of times Jackson Dart is available. You can get a first-round drafted quarterback at the 110 in a super flex league, right? Like, would you tear down to that quarterback, from Bijan and take 2 liquid first on top of it?
I mean, I think you could to your point. You just kind of made the point I'm making, which is like I think you could argue the tear down discussion. I think you could argue I don't even have to tear down, right? When I get that liquidity, I'm like, what can I do with that later? I don't even necessarily have to take a running back here. Now, this is the AWORP for the single year, okay? So this is last year. Now, Mike, the reason I think this is crazy, Mike, I'm telling you right now why Brock Bowers is really high. So I could understand the Brock Bowers conversation, but damn, man, I'm also looking at a line where Jamar Chase last year was in the conversation with Himothy overall. Like,
yeah, Himothy.
You're telling me that when I see Jamar Chase getting close, or if it was the running back, same thing, with the top overall scoring quarterback, like I'm having like a little bit of dirty thoughts about like what I might do to go ahead and get those type of gemstones on my team. Certainly make a case for Brock Bowers, but Mike, the other problem I'm having is Bijan to me. I don't feel like I have to have him in this league. I would love to, right? I don't feel like I have to have him, though, because like I can get top 12 production over 2 WoRP here from a guy like Chase Brown, right? James Conner, James Cook. I'm so split on this deal because it's like the one side I'm getting Chase, like fuck. Chase over Bowers for me pretty easy. But then it's like, oh man, there's a whole bunch of value going towards Bijan. I have a really hard time making a call on this one.
So Chase is God, right? Like God, to your point. Here's the thing. This is one of the weirdest lineup rosters I've ever seen. Because it is, you pull it up on the lab, it is one of the top teams in the league, but it is so fucking top heavy.
It's basically built with no insurance.
Pass this deal, right? Like now this deal is gone. QB1, Jaden Daniels. In conversation for that 3.0 WoRP, right? Like being a god, right? Bijan Robinson could be the top running back. Jamar Chase now on this team could be the top wide receiver. After that, you get like Drake London. You get Joe Burrow as your other super flex quarterback, but like you start Xavier to take Bigsby and Debo Samuel, Bretton Strange at tight end. Like it is so fucking top heavy.
Wow.
So top heavy now.
Damn, I'm looking now. He does have the 102 and the 105. So
we could be making a run here for backfill and depth.
What are you looking at doing right there, right, Mike? I mean, you're probably going to end up putting. So you're going to have Bijan, you're going to have Hampton. Like I can already tell you what this is probably going to be looking like, right?
I could tell you what I would do. I'm still taking Cam Ward, but this is going to be Hampton, and this
for sure.
This is going to be Tet,
right?
You know.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You can see what people are doing a mile away sometimes in these lineup leagues. Like it's very clear
what's happening, right? Like, as much as I tell you, if I'm still sitting in this
person, and you know this person doesn't have the stones and isn't trying to, with that type of a trade, get into quarterback hoarding when it's leveraged out those picks and adding to A-Rich some Cam Ward.
They're going for it.
Right? And I think, Mike, here's the thing. You go Bijan, you go Hampton, right? You go Drake London. Now all of a sudden your flex is, you're flexing a Debo. Your one flex is a little more to be desired with either Leggett or whoever it would be. But you add in Tet. I get it. I definitely get it. I think I can get behind it.
205, you know, I'm not going to recommend the Bayshaw Tootin thing here. Like if I was, I'd be pretty conservative and go on a Trey Harris or go on Luther Burden or one of those wide receivers.
I'm looking for someone that, I'm looking for someone that could be a flex option. It doesn't have to be Tootin. I agree with you.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind real quick though.
In trying to make the run. He does got that 26 first.
So get this, right? This is where
I'm a dog shit team.
Yes. You can see what's happening with Obi's team. I think for me, Mike, the more I'm kind of looking and assessing this, the margins are thin here, right? But one of the things in a lineup start 10, Mike, this is actually, go to that first trade if you just skip to this for the same conversation where in a best ball start 13, Mike, it's a lot, I think it still can be done, but it's a lot harder to go from the Jamar Chase into 3-4 legit assets. In lineup start 10, like those trades you can always get down to. It's a lot easier to deassemble those in a lineup start 10 league. So I think I kind of get it, and I can get behind what he's trying to pull off here.
Can I tell you though too? I love this for B-Raj too. Like, I love.
I don't hate it for B-Raj at all. Absolutely.
So if you look at his team on the lab, this has all the makings of a team that tried to win last year, didn't, because he doesn't have any draft picks outside of the ones that he got in this deal. Like his first was already gone. It looks like a guy who tried to win last year, didn't work.
Throwing your face.
Here and go. Like, how's my team going to be any better next year? I don't have a first. I'm not adding some like game changer to this.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wants to come up and try to compete this year who had been slowly building up and has the assets.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I know I can trade Brock Bowers to somebody at any given time. It sucks to lose Chase. It sucks to lose Bijan, but you take them. I'll take all these picks and the Brock Bowers, and then now I got this kickstart to this rebuild. And he's still got some like old crusty vets to like sell off during this draft too. If somebody's not in love with their 206, it's like, you want Chuba instead? I'll take your 206. You know, that kind of shit you can do.
Mike, let me just get into something real quick that I don't know if you caught this, that I just was surfing through the lab. This is why I love the lab, but I love all of our tools, to be honest with you. But, dude, sneakily, Mike, that's the 26 projected 101 by the lab right now in the trade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a hefty fucking tag, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, that evaluation changes a lot all of a sudden. Alex Beckeras 44's pick, Mike. You want to take a look at some dog shit? Let me give you a little peek here, okay? We're looking at Penix, like James Conner, J.K. Dobbins without a team currently, T. Higgins, Rashee Rice, Tucker Kraft, Cortland Sutton, K. Dotton, Tank Dell, currently no team. Like, bro. Superflex is Cole Kmet, Russell Wilson, Kirk. Buddy. That pick changes like the dynamic completely. Holy fuck. Dude, I did not actually think that trade was in the deal as the 101, and then I was re-looking at it. Holy crap.
He also has the guy who's right now ranked.
And now he has the 102. Yeah, right. He has the 102 projected pick in the 20 class.
His own team is now becoming shit.
Right. So you're driving down to, well, I guess where I was going to go to, Mike, is like when I'm looking at doing what you're talking about, the reason I went to this thinking, I'm looking to now try to create new leverage, right? I'm trying to create my own leverage. Buddy, you're telling me that I have my first, right? I have Hermanot's, which is projected right there, right? You have Alex Becker. So even if those teams aren't with the agenda that you have of getting the early picks, they only can do so much, but you can drive your team to the bottom. You have a scenario where you could walk away with the top 3 picks in 2026. That's a team reset in itself right there. And if you're telling me you have 4 liquid firsts, which now include Obi's, who's a late first, like 4 first, like we just see in this trade here. If you don't believe me, let me just show you the trade that we just are reviewing. If I have 4 firsts in players, I can go get anything I want. Damn near, especially when we're talking 101, 102, 103. It's not this 25 class for the record. 26 class is going to have a lot more to be desired, or a lot more at the top that people are actually going to want at the top with quarterbacks and different players in that class. So this is a whopper of a trade, buddy. Holy crap.
It is. And it's one of the few that we get on here where I like walk away.
I can make the case for both sides. Hell yeah.
I like both sides. There's no clear winner. There's no clear loser. I think if I'm managers of both these teams, I see what they did and I like it.
Me likey. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Well, Redbirds is sure to come in here and fuck that up, right? For
Definitely.
We get Redbirds getting the 101, Mike. Ashton Genty. My homeboy is getting Chris Olave 210 and the 104. Mike, this is one of those trades where I'll just tell you, I have a trade that is not on the trade show that we'll get to at least in the next week or two. The 104, 105, what's tough about it, on paper, I can understand going up to the 101 for Genty because of the vigor of Genty. The problem is at 104, Mike, I've seen what if that's Cam Ward now, right? If it's Cam Ward and it's Chris Olave and it's 210, like to me that trade looks a lot different if it's that. I don't know what the pick becomes here. I guess we could go to the lab and see if it's done or if these rookie picks haven't happened yet. But
hasn't happened yet. We still don't.
Where do you stand on this trade? I guess so. It's we're just talking the picks and the theory of this.
There's a lot to be concerned about with Chris Olave. Quarterback situation, obviously the concussions.
For sure.
So it's not like a super dynamic piece, but it's also not like he jumped up a whole lot of spots either, right? Like the way I play it, Adam, like I'm keeping the 104, the Chris Olave, and the 210. Well, let's not just write that off as complete dog shit. I mean, we've seen a few hits over the years come out of the 210 that have massively risen in value. So, yeah, I don't think, I don't know. It's one of those things. Let's go look at Redwood's team on the lab, too. Do you think you're an Ashton Genty away from being
This is where honestly, this is where I think the lab is great for these type of discussions. So you got Mahomes, you got Gibbs, right?
Nice, Vlad.
Obviously, we're going to be penciling in now. Benson, you can get out of here, right? If we're taking Genty. So now you got Genty, you got Ladd, Rashee Rice. I'm okay with that. I would like to have a better receiver too, frankly, but I'm okay with that. Pittman at the flex, I don't know where you're at. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I will admit, though, Mike.
Believe, Michael. I got your back, buddy.
Damn it, Michael. Don't let me down again, okay?
Every time I see somebody draft Josh Downs over you, an angel gets his wings.
Mike, here's my problem, though. Jaylen Warren and Tajay Spears, I don't think should be sniffing my flex spots, right? In the lineup start 10, Mike, I'll admit, too, one of the things here that can be done, like, again, I think sometimes in a league format like this, it's knowing your league. Does Genty in a trade get me something totally different than let's say it's not Cam Ward. Let's say you get there, Mike, Travis Hunter or Ted McMillan, right? Does that player not really get me to the table? Whereas I could get from Genty, can Genty get me Chase Brown and a first and a second? Like,
can you make a second move where you down tier from Genty to Jonathan Taylor plus?
Exactly. And even if you don't make that move now, that's kind of in your back pocket as long as you don't have a big time injury happen to that asset. I think that's kind of the for me, I think the assessment of the league type and knowing your league would be my thinking on this. Because I'm with you. I think this team doesn't scream to me, holy shit. Okay. We locked and loaded. Mike Genty to the fucking moon. This team's going to get me a title. I mean, it could, but you're going to need some shit to happen, my guy. You're going to need Tony Pollard to die right now, Tajay Spears to be him. That's not happening, right? Come on. Like,
wants that to happen.
Well, even if it does, I'm not sure he's going to be him. I mean, because there's just a lot of, the other thing too, Mike, to your point, 210, or it was not actually on his team now, so maybe he flipped that. We don't have that second part of the deal, but we got 204 and 208.
No, he sent away the 210.
He sent away you're right. Okay, he sent away the 210. Sorry. Yeah, the 204 and the 28. You can still make some, some picks here to get some players in your lineup, but you still have some more, I think, work to do ahead of you. But I can make the case for it personally. I guess the other thing we probably need to do, Mike, just being completely honest here, let me pull up what the WoRP says on this. Does it matter to you though? Like if the WoRP's really high for running back? I'm with you. It's not really high for running back?
No, I said it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you. I don't think it matters that much either. I think the market dynamic is probably the reason. If I'm making this trade for 101, I think one of the things I found out personally is if I lose Cam Ward here, that's scary. But if I'm making this trade, Mike, it's for me the market dynamic. Let me ask you then, real quick before we just get out of here. My homeboy, I don't know if do you think this makes sense for my homeboy and the team here?
Yep, for his team build.
Yeah, because he's. I was just gonna say because he's middle of the road, right?
Very middle of the road, and he's like, I'm not an Ashton Genty away from being a contender. I'll just sit back and take whatever falls to me in the value. I'll add on
the 104, add the 107, add the 109.
Maybe Tyler Shuck doesn't suck, and maybe Chris Olave stays healthy and gets back to being, back in wide receiver one type territory and dynasty value, and we're good. We're cooking. Whatever the hell I got out of the 210.
Yeah, I can get behind. And I think when I'm looking at this team, right, he's got the idea in mind of, hey, let me try to get some value-depressed assets that are possibly some resurgence coming, and let me go ahead and get a bunch of picks. You look at the team direction very clearly. Audric has to make Keaton Mitchell. This is exactly how I want our running backs to look on my rebuilders, buddy. Just like that. Absolutely dog shit. Like fucking terrible. Down the middle awful.
It's like all I want on my team, too.
Yep.
Like, gee, these are the only two fucking running backs I'm going to roster.
Yep. They're in my lineup weekly. They may not get a single carry. All right, Mike. This is you want to talk monstrosity. Whew. Brother, let me just say this. This is a shit trade because there's so many moving parts, but before I even get all the craziness, Mike, when I see on one side Genty, the other side Malik Neighbors, we're starting with firepower. But then it's, just let me read this out. Aiden is back. Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, 2 of the top 15 receivers in the game, right? Neighbors is a tier 1 receiver for me. Then you had in Travis Hunter, who gets himself into the top 15 mix, I think, as well in Dynasty at receiver. You get Travis, Tyrone Tracy, and you get Kyler Murray. You send away Genty, Herbert, your first and 26, your first and 22nd, a first from a fellow Ryan Robert, it looks like. Then the crazy part here, Mike, I'm not going to devalue these pieces, but only thing else coming back are second round picks. So we're talking a 28 second, which is, what are we doing here? 28 second, 27 second, 26 third, 26 third, 26 third. Mike, there's a lot of noise in this trade. There's a lot of pieces in this trade. Talk to me in a 12-team Superflex, 1.5 tight end premium, lineup start 10.
Genty, Neighbors, let's cancel those guys out.
Yeah. I think I would probably still prefer Neighbors, but I think you're probably right in the conversation. They're close here.
But some of these startups I'm seeing, Genty goes before Neighbors. So
I get it. I'm with you.
I'm team Neighbors too on this one, Adam. I prefer them, but we're close enough. Let's say they're done. We cancel those dudes out. Okay. Is it fair to say cancel out Murray and Herbert? I know for me it is. I don't know for the community if they're there. They seem.
I don't think I think the startup values tell enough of the story that it requires a plus.
Requires a plus. Okay, so what is the plus? Tracy?
Yeah, maybe. I guess it depends on what your assessment of Tracy is. Let's just do that for the sake of it. Let's just try to keep that on the
Tracy.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got Genty, we got Herbert out of the way, we got Neighbors, we got Tracy, we got Kyler Murray. It leaves Ladd, Travis Hunter, and then
so you got Ladd and Travis Hunter for 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and the thirds.
Ladd for 2 of the first.
I think that's his market value. Yeah.
Right. So 2 of those firsts are gone. So now we got a first, couple seconds, couple thirds, 3 thirds.
For Travis Hunter.
First, I'll take a Travis Hunter there.
I agree.
Travis Hunter there.
Shady Daddy did not do a good enough job covering up the shade here because, like, see to me, there's a few problems with it in general, right? One, Mike, I'm taking let me just speak to this. When I'm getting first round picks, all right, if I'm getting first round picks, I basically don't ever have a cutoff time or a cutoff window, so to speak, right? I'm still going to take a 28 second. Don't get it twisted. But the upside of a 201 is so different than the upside of a 101, 102, 103, right? Yeah. To me, Mike, a 28 second, honestly, I'm not letting you get away with in a lineup start 10, nickel and diamond my way up to the top with 28 seconds. Like, the second round picks don't speak enough to me in 27 and 28 because the upside is so significantly capped. I'm not taking the time decay on a second in 28 and 27, my guy. I'm just not doing that because that type of pick takes forever to move it out of the way now.
The only thing I was going to give him credit for is if, like, one of these first was off a bad team, but 2 of them are off Aiden's team, who just got a hell of a lot better. And then the other one's off.
What are we looking at?
Ryan Roberts is the number 1 team in the league right now. So
no. Fuck no.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, and now here's my other question. Let's go to the lab. I'm going to have to pull up redo this real quick for a second. But here's my thinking. Okay, if you're Shady Daddy and you're telling me you're just trying to get liquidity, you're kind of in a rebuild, couldn't understand it. One, you're getting off of, what are you getting off of? All young-ass, desirable receivers. Like, that's not worrying me on my rebuilds, really. And 2, like, why are you taking on Genty back if you're trying to rebuild? So I guess what I want to do is look at what's the Shady Daddy's team situation here, because I'm really befuddled on what the agenda is, if that makes sense.
Here's the goddamn. This is wild, man. I said the Murray Herbert thing was equal for me, and you know, to me it is. To me it is. For
it's not. It's not in the market though. You're right.
There's gonna be people out there who are pissed off and they're mad, and I'll hear it in the comments. In this exact fucking league, you know who the top WoRP scorer was between the 2 of them?
Probably Murray.
Yeah, it was Kyler Murray. Like,
yeah.
Equal, man. Like, equal. So that's it. That's for me. Then Adam. Then Tyrone Tracy's like the free piece. And no matter what you think about Scatabo and him and who does what, fuck it. Why? It's a running back, ain't it? With a role at the very least. He's gonna have some sort of role, ain't he?
I mean, sure.
You can give it to me for free. Thanks.
I feel like this is Dynasty versions for sure, because like cherries are being popped here, my friend. That's what it feels like. Dude, this is rough. Let's just, okay. Like, here again, you're shady daddy. So it's kind of what I'm saying here. You're looking like a rebuilder on the surface, right? I mean, you're the 10th team. So now your team looks like Herbert. You got Genty, but you got 2 rookie running backs. You got JMO wide receiver 1. Boomer bust receiver that I can get behind. But Trey Harris, Tyler Warren, like, brother, what are we doing? My guy, what are we doing? The last thing I'm doing with a team like this is getting off of 3 young receivers that are in the top 15 discussion. Period. Fucking period. End period. Like, I don't.
For running backs.
For a Genty. Like, not just for running backs. I got rid of Tyrone Tracy. For fucking Genty. Aiden is in a league with in the Dynasty and Chill League with Scott. This is Aiden just absolutely destroying
and
fucking
the warp
people.
line for wide receivers is very good, very very good.
Even if the running backs was crazy, Mike, I'm not doing this.
The running backs and wide receivers historically for the last 5 years very similar, and they're on par with the elite of the elite quarterbacks. So everything's pretty equal, other than tight ends.
So, and let me just say, when you look back at this, right, you're maximizing what I think the quick quo pro of this. You maximize the value of Genty at the moment, right? You got off him at peak. You're getting off of, to your point, you're kind of cheat coding the quarterback position. And this is where at some points I have pushback on Cam Ward, is just to this, right? Where is Cam Ward going to get into the spot of where, like for Herbert, Murray, to me, they're all the same shit, right? Like that's the problem where Cam Ward, I think, can and has the upside to go higher. But if he doesn't, you get into this tier where we're basically like, just give me the quarterback. I don't even care which one it is. But we'll take Kyler here. So you got the cheat code of getting Kyler fucking Murray from Herbert and adding the plus in there. Like that's where you got your total upside. I don't understand, though, to me, Mike, the last piece, I don't understand why this person's letting you leverage out your first when your team looks this good and they're way out there. Like, that just makes no sense to me. So, oh, buddy. All right. Let's look at another one. Let's look at another deal. All right. That was a clean Aiden win, I think, for us. Pretty easy, right? Mike, this trade, interesting, because Travis Hunter was on the last deal. Travis Hunter might be on the thumbnail here, buddy. 107. This trade is basically made because 107 is sitting there as Travis Hunter. Normally not really there at the 107. So that's something to keep in mind on this deal. The 109 and the 112, I do know, I can tell you, give me one moment. They become Caleb and they become Tyler Warren at the 109 and the 112. So Montgomery and Travis Hunter for 109 and 112. I think you're on mute.
After you make the trade up here, this is what I love to see, for AJ. The 112, you're like, that became Jackson Dart. I'm pissed. It didn't become Jackson Dart. It became
Tyler Warren.
Thank God. Good job, dipshit.
Yeah. I mean, I think Travis Hunter from Caleb, like, the picks be irrelevant. Like, that's what the trades was, but the players are the players now. Caleb to Travis, Mike, to me, that's a significant upgrade. I like Caleb, honestly. But it's a significant upgrade, right?
I'm a Caleb fan. Like, nobody's going to stand harder for him.
Right.
Jeez, yes. Yes.
And Mike, the 112 versus Montgomery, definitely the 112. But if you told me it's Tyler Warren versus Montgomery, I'm not taking Monty, but I might just kind of be like, it's not really that big of a loss, right? Like, I don't really care that much.
I really don't give a shit.
That
could have worked no better for AJ, right? Like on the surface.
I don't even need to pull WoRP or the lab for this. This is easy.
If you didn't tell me picks, right? Like who is available? There's no context on this,
right?
Okay? I go, what the fuck are we doing, AJ? Like, why are we trading up 2 fucking spots?
It looks crazy, doesn't it?
Giving away the 112.
And at the 107, to your point, we kind of know in the way we think about the picks in our head, tier breaks, right? 101 tier, just because of the value of Genty, right? 102 to 104 tier. 107 is like a dead tier. Like, so on the surface, this trade's like, what are we doing here, AJ? Mike put Travis Hunter to me and you is in our 104 mix. He's at the 107. Okay, now we're changing things a little bit. Yeah. And then you tell me the 112 Tyler Warren, which, Mike, I've been seeing Tyler Warren. This pick right here, 107, is a lot of times where Tyler Warren's coming off the board.
Yes.
No, I don't want that at all. But if you're telling me, I like this trade a lot for AJ R113.
I don't need a lot of WoRP discussion or lab on this one. Like, I just take the
I don't need
money.
any. I just say Travis Hunter. I think one of the things about Travis Hunter that people are kind of, I think they're coming around to now, but they're maybe even a little bit missing if you're letting him fall to 107 especially. See, Travis Hunter, because of the whole offense-defense thing, I think even more so, his value retention and what people are going to hold him to as far as a standard for production is almost going to be so minuscule that he's guaranteed to hit it. Like, that's going to keep him in the discussion next year of super high value. So Travis Hunter to me is kind of a dynasty value insulated cheat code.
Yes.
Last deal here, Mike. Ho, buddy. You know the affinity we have for Drake May, but we're talking MLF Diener, the denier of Drake May. He's getting Jalen Hurts. Mike, would you send Drake May in the 112 and the 110 in a lineup start 10 to go get a Konami?
If I separate myself and think logically, yes, you should be doing this. Right? It's just so hard when you're in rookie fever time and you're in youth season. You're in youth season, and plus to consolidate so early beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a smart move. And even though it's Jalen Hurts and it's my guy at this, I'm still succumb to this. I love Drake May. Yes, you should be doing this.
Well,
you should be doing this. You should be consolidating.
I think you're fitting facts on that. Let me just speak to one of the reasons. I think this is a trade. We don't know what the 110 and the 112 are. We can maybe see on the lab if it's picked or not. But just think about it from this standpoint. Before the NFL draft took place, Mike, so let's go back to, like, take a rewind in time. Let's pretend it's February right now. All the people are saying about the 25 classes is kind of doo-doo water, right? Like, you know what the 112 and the 110 aren't doing at that time? Getting you to a top-tier quarterback. Right? So I think this is one of those trades where the timing was done well. The only conversation now will basically be in a league like this, what actually gets taken at the 110, 112? And do you hit a RJ Harvey? Do you hit a Caleb Johnson? Do you hit a Jackson Dart? What can you now do with those? I think one of the things to ultimately wrap this up, I'll pull up the WoRP in the lab. To me, this is one of those deals that if I'm in the position to consolidate, like, I'm doing this 10 times out of 10. I'm making the play, even if it doesn't work out. I think it's the correct process play. But one thing I think to keep in mind is sometimes you make a trade like this, or I see trades like this go down where you're not ready for it. Then it's kind of antithetical. So that's, I guess, the one thing.
It looked like it was the 110 one something on. It was some combination of Emeka Ibuka or Colston Loveland.
Oh,
was thinking there.
If you tell me I got to get off of Loveland, I really do like Ibuka, honestly. But if you tell me I got to get rid of Ibuka and Loveland in this league, man, I'm going for it for sure. For sure.
For Drake, man, yeah. And now, or for Jalen Hurts, excuse me.
Yeah.
Now it's for MLF. It's Jalen Hurts QB1, Joe Burrow QB2, and the lineup start 10. You know, when you pull up the WoRP, that's you're starting from a good fucking spot, my guy.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good start to a team. Doesn't usually matter that you got to do too much after that to really build a playoff team out of that. So, and the rest of his team's already pretty decent too. So,
honestly, I think this is one of those trades. Another thing to keep in mind too, right? Drake May, while I've admitted how much I like him now, like, I think there's a reasonable scenario. I don't know what the percentage outcomes really are, but I think there's a very realistic chance that, like, Drake May, as great as I think he is, could be getting close in value to where we're going to see him top out at, dude. He's in the conversation for, like, wide receiver, quarterback 6 to 8 range in a lot of people's values. Like, that's fucking high, man. That's super high. Even if he plays well, like, how high can he go, right? Like, this is kind of also using the moment where Drake May is very highly thought of as a good time to pivot too. So I think this is a well-constructed and executed deal on both the surface of what you moved off of and the timing of it. Because Jalen Hurts is probably the only Konami quarterback, Mike, that you can actually do this for, right? I don't think people are letting you do this for Lamar. I don't think people are letting you do this for J-Day or Josh Allen. So that's another piece of the deal that I think is really well done.
The most easily attainable potential QB1 overall.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Facts.
Welcome to South Harmon.
It clearly wasn't just Jalen Hurts versus Mahomes. That team is outrageous in Philly, but guess who he still plays for this year, guys? The fucking loaded-ass Philadelphia Eagles. The O-line's great. Receivers everywhere.
Ask any honest Eagles fan about that Super Bowl. Leading up to it was the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl in spite of Jalen Hurts. We didn't think he was playing that well. Like, he was not playing that well.
They're going to lose. This is where it comes to bite him because he's not a true top 15 quarterback, right?
It's Spags, like, shut down and neutralized Saquon. And Jalen Hurts is the one who carried that fucking offense to a fucking rout.
Well, and I love it. I was telling people this during that. I'll tell you one thing, man. The Chiefs, they got and understood the assignment. Like, we are going to shut down Saquon Barkley. And bless their hearts, they did it, and it came back to bite them in the ass, buddy. They sold out to sell Saquon Barkley to his worst game of his career that year, and it didn't matter. Like, it bit him. I mean, Hurts killed him. I mean, that's the thing, though. That's why the Eagles are such cheat codes, because if you actually do sell out to stop Saquon, what have you done, right? Like, that's what kind of...
And if you don't sell out to stop Saquon, you end up like the Rams, where he just running 70-yard touchdown.
Because the worst part about Saquon there, if you don't do that, he'll probably beat you just on the intermediate in between the tackles, just nickel and diming you. But it only takes one fucking true mess up, and he gets to the second, third level, and boom, it's over. Like, touchdown. Any given play.
And it's free jerseys for Adam.
And dude, that was quite a fun experience. Saquon Barkley, thank you so much. I know you have no idea what you've done for me, but I'll never forget it. And Mike, everyone else that kind of watched it will never forget it as well. Mike, what'd you think of the trades here, man? Second week back here on the trade show. I'll say there was a couple in there. One in particular that was rough.
B country.
Well, two that I forgot about the first one. Mike, this one was worse in my opinion. Tell me the Aiden's trade wasn't the clear runaway home run of the deal.
That was disgustingly bad.
That was
sure
ridiculous.
We're gonna get a YouTube comment arguing the other side. Like, I really just know I appreciate the comments, appreciate the views. You ain't gonna convince me otherwise, man. That's pretty shitty. It's pretty fucking shitty.
It's shitty. It's shady. It's shady, daddy. But yeah, I thought it was a good trade show overall. I thought most of the deals were like there was a couple really big boy deals in here, which I love to see that, right? Yeah. But then there was a couple of big boy deals where it's like, damn, you could argue either side. I thought overall trades were pretty reasonable. Trades were solid. I think you could definitely tell most of the times who were in the Discord, right? Who were our patrons.
Who's paying attention.
Who's following process moves. But man, I love having the trade show back. Mike's got a trade to start us off next week. I'm looking forward to
Let's go.
Peeping that up. And listen, I hope you guys continue to allow us to trade, okay? We love putting our trades on the trade show, but it's been a minute. Mike, anything we got before you get out of here?
No, man. Just make sure you're checking out everything that we got going on. Obviously, we got the Dynasty channel. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching the video. But the redraft channel is up and popping. And Fizz and T-Rock are exploding slowly but surely. The South Harmon Vibes channel. We got 3 of them.
Cook up.
Make sure you're subscribed. Like the videos on all of them. It helps out the channel so much. And keep tuning in, right? We ain't going nowhere anytime soon, man.
Nowhere at all. And I just wanted to plug in as well. At the start, we talked about it, but sign shit to see all the dope stuff behind Mike here. We got the Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey, all the helmets, all of that stuff you can get over at signedsh.it. What do you got, Mike?
I'm going to have to dive in. I need another one. I gave one away a couple months ago to a benefit at work. Drew Bledsoe signed helmet.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, it went by the wayside. Donated on behalf of South Harmon. So
beautiful.
I got to replace one on behalf.
Well, Mike, because you know what's great? I'm not wearing it today.
Right now.
I'm not wearing it today, but I had to as well replace one of our certified sh.it. Go over to Fanatics if you want jerseys, gear, stuff like that. Mike, I had to get the new Gibbs jersey because I got last year's at 26 and he's now number 0. So those are 2 big plugs. Make sure you go check those out. If you want any type of NFL gear, Our partner Fanatics, that's where you can go to certifiedsh.it. If you want autographed, signed shit, there is no better place than Ultimate Autographs. That's signed sh.it. That's all we got though as far as plugs. Also, if you want to be a part of the trade show, let me just say this before we get out of here, buddy. Patreon.com/South Harmon. Get your ass in the trade show. Show us why you're not just in the comments, why you're on the trade show. But we'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Welcome to South Harmon.